Pirate Software was a name I was not familiar with until recently, after one bad World of Warcraft run that took the internet by storm. To give the too long didn't read, basically he did a hardcore raid with a group of guys, and in World of Warcraft, apparently this takes hundreds of hours to prepare for one of these raids, and if you die in hardcore, you lose everything. So when shit hit the fan, the rest of his team manned their positions and all died. Meanwhile, he ran off and got to keep everything. And then on top of that, he tried to gaslight his team and the whole chat, saying he had no other choice and that no matter what he or his team did, this would have always been the outcome. Just genuinely insane behavior. And that's only the beginning. Now, I don't know how familiar you are with the movement Stop Killing Games, but this is a petition running in Europe to prevent studios from making games inaccessible by turning off the online servers. Because there are a stupid amount of video games these days that require an online login to even play single-player modes, including the game you're watching right now. Black Ops 6 is the first Call of Duty that if you try to play offline, all you can play is campaign. You're locked out of split-screen multiplayer and split-screen zombies for no real reason, which is just ridiculous, and what Stop Killing Games is trying to force developers to stop doing. And of course, that's where the man of the hour comes back into this, because upon his learning of this movement, he decided to go on an incredibly stupid rant where he completely misunderstands the entire point, and for some reason just gets caught up in the most arbitrary details. He cries about how games like League of Legends and Pokemon Go would have to be completely reworked and might even have to be shut down, but that's, again, not the point.
How would you keep League of Legends in a functional playable state? You'd have to re-architect the entire game. The game is what is called client-server. So in client-server models, there's a server and there's a client, and all of the math, all of the game, everything happens on the server. The client just displays it. And the reason we want to do it that way is so that you can't teleport around and do a billion damage. You don't trust the client. You trust the server. The client just displays what it's told. Right? So if we wanted to re-architect this, we'd have to take all of that server logic, push it back out into the client, and somehow make that playable in a multiplayer-only video game. That doesn't make sense to me. So this isn't going to work for all games. Why is it calling out all games?
To be fair, I don't know anything about coding. I went to school for communications and film, not computer science. But to my understanding of how most games are made, specifically games like Counter-Strike and Call of Duty, I'm pretty sure this is how people are able to do wall hacks. So it's not some impossible thing. So if Riot had to rework the game, I don't think it would be impossible. Again, I have no idea, this is all complete speculation, but this just sounds like a defense of laziness, to be honest. Because it doesn't sound like League of Legends and Pokemon Go will have to shut down, rather it sounds like the developers will have to just kind of rebuild the game to make sure that it fits up to modern code. Plus, that's not considering that you don't have to buy either of these games. And second, if the petition goes through, then it will actually guarantee that these games last forever. Because as of right now, there is no guarantee that Pokemon Go or League of Legends will be around forever. Because despite being such popular games, anything could happen. If the studio shuts down, something weird happens with the Pokemon license, or they just decide enough people aren't playing the games anymore. If the petition goes through, then these games will be able to live forever through private servers hosted by the community. But again, these games aren't even the target of SKG. It's more focused on games that already contain single-player components that are bound by the servers of the game. If anything, games like this would benefit and be guaranteed to be preserved for future generations to play. It's so silly because you would think, especially as a developer, you would want this. Wouldn't you want your work of art to be seen by as many people for as long as time allows?
I don't find that to be a problem from the developer perspective, and I understand that people find that to be a problem from the player perspective. These are two different ideologies, and that's okay to have two different ideologies. I just won't agree with it.
Shouldn't the goal of the player and the developer be aligned here? Even if the developers can no longer financially support their own servers, shouldn't they want the players to keep their game alive? Same in the player's shoes. If there's a game that you love and you've sunk hundreds of hours into, wouldn't it be comforting to know that you'll always be able to log in and check your progress?
Because I understand the burden that puts if we raise that problem in the way that we are right now. If you try to tell me that every studio needs to run their live service game indefinitely or not want to run one at all, then no one's going to run them. And we're going to miss out on adventures like Final Fantasy XIV.
Again, just further proof that he does not understand the goal of Stop Killing Games. Nobody is saying that developers have to indefinitely throw money into a game's servers. All they're asking for is to have the option to have private servers run by the community. which feels like it should be a no-brainer either way if you're a developer or a player. Because why would you want a game to disappear? Now, I know the easy slam dunk in response to that is, well, what about Lawbreakers? What about Concord? And while those games are absolute memes, and I do not shed tears over their absence, I do think we would probably be in a better world if they were still alive and thriving, and we could point and laugh at them, instead of just having to try and remember them. If you need any further evidence that SKG is pretty cool, PewDiePie himself even tweeted out to go sign the petition today. And since I can't sign it myself, I figured one of the best things that I could do would be to spread the word about it with the good people of YouTube, while chronicling and throwing some jabs at pirate software. So if you live anywhere in Europe, please go sign it. But above all else, I just want to say thank you so much for watching this video. The support on the last video was absolutely insane. You guys left some hilarious comments, and I feel very welcomed into the Snortex community. And we finally hit over 500 subscribers, which I cannot thank you guys enough. I've definitely got a lot more planned and am very excited for the future. So be sure to stick around in case you have any interest in seeing any of that. And again, I thank you so much for watching this video, and take care.